feel like when people are in relationships, there's like a superiority, like, that they feel.
Yeah.
And they're just like, I'm in a relationship, so I'm better than you.
Yes.
So then they're like, you should be experiencing what I'm experiencing. Because, like, I don't even know why though.
I just feel like, oh, I don't know, because
It's kind of like, sorry, keep going.
No, I lost it now. You bitch.
I was just gonna say, like, it's kind of like, now that I'm happy, like, I feel uncomfortable that you're not happy, even though the single person is happy.
Yeah.
They're like, I wasn't happy being, you know, like, I'm way more happier now.
Yeah. They're
being
projecting.
in a relationship. Yeah, so they're like, you should, like, I'm uncomfortable that you are not
In
at
a
my level.
But you know what? I think, like, talking to a lot of people who are recently single or have been single for a while, talking about our friends who have tried to, like, set us up, or, like, asking about where we are in our dating life and whatever, they're in, like, long-term relationships but not happy. And so they are either like, oh yeah, the person you're dating, you're like, oh yeah, that they sound like a good person, when they're not. Or if you talk to them and the person you're seeing has, like, so many red flags, but it reflects their relationship, they tell you to leave.
Ooh.
But I'm like, okay, so why aren't you listening to your own advice, because your relationship is like you know?
That's an interesting take.
It's more than one person that I've had this conversation with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your body knows first if you like someone or not. So, like, if you meet someone, or you're, like, in a relationship with someone, and then you start to, like, get really sick all the time, or like have symptoms of, like, I don't know, whatever it is, like stomach or head or whatever, like, it could be that, like, your body already knows that you're not meant to be with them anymore, or, like, be with them.
Yeah.
And then all the comments were like, all my symptoms went away when I met him, or, like, they're in the relationship and they're like, I've started getting, like, bad symptoms, or they're like, as soon as when I met him, I started getting, like, really bad PMS, like, all this stuff.
Wild.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting?
So interesting.
I think that's true though.
Yeah, I also heard that, like, some people, their sleep gets worse or better with their partners. So if they can't sleep, then they know that this person is not meant for them.
Yeah.
Because that's, like, your body is so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
If you can't fall asleep next to someone, your body is like, no, this is not right.
Yeah.
Like,
So true.
danger.
Yeah, literally. But that's why I feel like I have been way more sick here compared to in London. I swear. Like, I've never...
You know,
like,
same.
I've never been so sick and then the symptoms have lasted, like, 3 months.
Yes.
Except for when I've been in Perth.
Yes.
But then when I've been in London, yeah, I'll, like, get sick or whatever, but then I'll be done in, like, a week or whatever.
Yeah, remember when I never used to get sick?
Yeah.
And then, like, coming back to Perth, I'm, like,
Now
sick
you're, like,
at least once a year. And
Which is not normal for you.
No.
So I just feel like it's really interesting.
Like, trying to convince me to leave Perth.
No, but it's like, okay, because obviously, like, in London we were alone, like, so you're not taking on anyone's energy. And I feel like if you're very, I don't even think you have to be, like, super empathetic or whatever, but, like, everyone naturally will take on whoever's energy is around them. And if that is not, like, energy that you're needing, or it's, like, not good for you right now, then it can develop into, like, physical symptoms.
No, I completely agree.
That must also be a universal thing. Like, if you're someone that like had the experience of going out a lot, you must have like that one security guard that's like, that's your guy or like, or girl. But like, you just have that one person that you're like, when you see them, you're just like, yeah, like I've got someone like that has my back.
Yeah, because remember that one night we were at Shacklewell and this really drunk guy like just wouldn't leave us alone, and he was like sitting all like on us. Yeah. And we were like, go away, we don't want you here. And he would not listen. And so Isabel left and got our friend.
No, but he wasn't our friend at that point. That's how we became friends.
Oh,
like that was our first meeting.
Oh, okay. So I'm like so confused.
Our first meeting was that this guy was like trying to hit on us and stuff, and then it was getting really uncomfortable. So then I got our friend, what was his name? Jerome. And then he like saved the day, and then we saw him out like at a different place, and we were like, oh my god, hey, and we were like, you saved us or whatever, and he was like, hey, and he like remembered our faces. And then every time we saw him out, we'd be like, Jerome.
He was the best.
Ever since we started talking about like alternate lives we would have if we decided to stay in London, like, and then we were talking about like all the people we wouldn't have met or like be friends with, and how that all came from like things we were struggling with. I have been reflecting on that, and I honestly feel the best relationships and the best like quality relationships I've had have come from, there's always like an element of trauma bonding.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like people are always like, that's so toxic, like they're trauma bonding, la la la. But I feel like there's like an element where that plays a role of like trust. Like it really, because like you feel seen and heard, and you feel like the person understands like a really deep part of you.
Yes.
Whereas the relationships the people I've met where it's just been because of scenarios like work or school, circumstance, or just like you meet someone out and like, you know, that kind of thing, like it's always just pretty, it doesn't get to that deep level where you can like actually understand and empathize with each other because of pain. And I feel like pain plays a really significant role on relationships, and that like as long as you use that pain like with love and respect, then it won't become toxic. But I feel like it would only become toxic if you like abuse that or something. Don't you think?
No, I do agree with you. I think
we trauma bond on so many things.
So many things. Our whole relationship is trauma bonding.
Yeah.
I think for trauma bonding in my friendships is healthy because it's brought like a lot of us together.
Yeah. You won't be able to like deeply connect with every single thing.
No.
But like if there's something like really significant that you can connect and empathize and understand with in a relationship, like I feel like that holds a lot. And I feel like the trouble that comes is when like people don't feel like understood in a relationship.
Yeah, that's like because when you don't feel understood, you don't feel seen, you don't feel heard, and so you don't really want to say how you feel or like talk about a certain situation because you are already like preempting that you're not going to feel understood. So you're like, what's the point?
That's when the whole like people can feel lonely
in a relationship.
Yeah. or like alone in a relationship. So I honestly feel like trauma bonding
Is healthy.
We have been best friends for like 15 years.
15 years, yeah. Like, honestly, the strongest and healthiest relationship
Yeah.
we've both ever been in.
And it's because we trauma bond.
Yeah.
I really think it's because of that.
Yeah, and the topic of like losing friends when you get into a relationship has come up quite a bit with people around me. And they are like, so how did you and Isabel like stay such good friends when Isabel was in a relationship? And I'm like, I don't know, like we're friends. Like how do you not, you know? But I think people just, when they get into a relationship, if they don't value their friendships enough, or it's just kind of like a placeholder for their relationships, they end up just like dropping those people because they're like, oh, I'm happy, I'm in a relationship, I don't need anyone else. Whereas like for us, all of our friends are so important to us because it took so long to find the people that we
Can call friends.
That no matter like whatever relationships that we're in, we always make time for our friendships as well, because you never really know what's going to happen with your relationship.
This is what I was thinking about as well. Like, I've really been thinking about pain a lot. This is at least my experience. The people that have known what it feels like to not have friends, like genuine friends, like deeply connected friends, are the ones that will put the most effort and really value friendships. And so they'll just like put as much as they can into friendships because they know what it feels like to not have that.
Yeah.
Like they can understand, like, if I don't put effort into this friendship, like I could lose them.
I feel like in primary school, my friendships, I had like best friends and stuff, but they weren't like
Your people.
my people. And so I felt lonely in friendships because, you know, there wasn't that level of understanding or connection. They were just like friends because we went to school together. And so even in high school, we had friends, but in our friendship group, there were like other groups because you connected more with those people. And then after high school, you don't really keep in touch with those people that were just there.
I have a similar experience as well. I just feel like the people that have always known what it feels like to have friendships and not feel lonely, they are like the ones that, you know, like they never text you back, or they never like, or if some kind of conflict comes up, they kind of just like, fuck it, like
They're like, we're just not going to be friends.
Yeah.
We're going to resolve it.
exactly.
They don't want to communicate.
Yeah.
And then
Because they know that they'll have other friends.
or they'll never like initiate like a catch up or something, or just like ask you how you are.
Yeah.
Whereas like all of the friends that we have now, because of trauma bonding,
Yeah.
we always, like, even our friends that don't live in the same city as us, we have regular FaceTimes, or we voice note each other like weekly. You know? I talk to people who live in other countries more than I do people here.
Legit.
Yeah.
There's kind of that like unspoken rule, not rule, but like an unspoken understanding and awareness of like, we know what it means to like value friendship. And so it's like, yeah, there's just like that mutual understanding, which I feel like we had when we met, and that's why we've stayed friends for so long, because we've just kind of been like, we get it.
Because even when we first met, we weren't really in the same group. We just had guild together, but we were still friends. And then it didn't matter like whatever the situation was at school, we would always like be there for each other anyway.
Yeah.
And we were in the same group.
Yeah. And I feel like a big part of that is that like underlining trauma bond without even talking about it.
Exactly. We never really had to talk about anything. We both always knew what was up.
Yeah. And then it's only like, as we've like grown and stuff, we talk about like stuff and we're like, oh wow, we're like really trauma bonding. But it works.
It works. And I think that's why we come across, like, people will always say that, oh, our friendship is so codependent. But I'm like, but have you had a friendship where you could actually rely on someone or talk about everything with them?
Exactly.
I'm like, what's the point of having a friendship if you're just going to have small talk? If I want to have small talk with someone, I just get back on dating apps, you know? Like,
this is what
I'm like, I have not, like, had a meaningful conversation with anyone that I've really dated. So it's like, what's the point?
I genuinely feel that there is a healthy level of codependency, because if there wasn't, you would never feel like you had something to lose.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about this, like, if I think about the people in relationships, like, that, I don't know, whatever, like, if they're married or whoever, I feel like the people that, like, end up, I'm not saying that, like, only good relationships are, like, the people that stay together forever, but I mean, like, the people that will, you know, like, respect the relationship are the people that will feel like there's something to lose. But how you go about that is where it can become toxic or healthy.
Yes.
But it's like, I just feel like the more I think about pain, the more I feel like pain is necessary in all aspects of life.
Yeah.
And, like, pain drives life, but it's just how you use pain. That is where it becomes, like, it's like how you use pain is whether it becomes like a World War III.
Yeah.
Or the other way, you know?
It helps growth.
Yeah.
Development. How do you feel about when people in relationships say that, yeah, I'd be okay if we weren't together? Because I've heard people say that.
I know, I can understand it in the sense, like, of course we'll all be okay.
Yes.
Like, of course, you're not gonna die.
No.
And, like, yeah. Like, I can understand that, and I can understand, like, the level of, like, self-worth that you should understand that you will technically be okay.
Yeah, because your happiness doesn't depend on that person.
Exactly. I think it's just, like, understanding if there's more to that, you know, like,
yeah,
the context of that, of someone saying that. It's like, yes, of course, like, we can be okay, but then it's like, but do you feel like you will lose an important part of your life if you don't have that relationship anymore? Because I would, like, if we were not friends, that would be a really significant thing for me.
Yeah, totally.
That would probably be the worst breakup ever.
Yeah. Honestly, it would be.
Out of every relationship.
Yeah. Out of everything, yeah, this would be the worst breakup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the point of having relationships that you won't care that much about?
Yeah, or that you feel that people are replaceable.
Yeah. I don't want to be replaceable in someone's life.
Exactly.
Are you kidding me?
I'm like, that is the biggest insult I've ever had in my life.
I'd be like, okay, like, what?
Okay, I'm like, do you want me to just leave?
Yeah.
Like, I'll go right now.
Exactly.
And then it, like, gets me thinking about friendships where, like, you know, when you don't care if you lose a friend or not, like, how are people finding friends? And, like, also, what do you talk about? Because if you're cycling through friends that fast, where is the substance to that?
Legit. I don't understand it, because, like, I can understand you have friendships for, you know, like, for a season or whatever, and, like, things change and then it's time to move on, or, like, you guys change and then, yeah, I understand that. But, like, I feel like the goal is always to have, like, long-lasting
relationships.
Yeah, relationships.
Always. Like, I don't make a friend and be like, yeah, I'm only gonna have you in my life for 6 months.
Yeah. Like, you're good for now.
Yeah. What is that?
It's like,
And why are you treating people like that?
Yeah. It's like, what's the point? You might as well just not be friends now if you know it's gonna.
Yeah.
If you don't care if you're not friends in the future.
Yeah. Even how we met and like the circumstances around being at the same high school is so crazy because we both went to high schools that weren't in our area.
Legit, like, of course we fucking trauma bonded because we were the only ones from our school.
The only Asians as well.
We had no friends. Of course we're gonna trauma bond. Are you kidding me? It'd be weird if we didn't. It's freaking unconditional love, and I feel like unconditional love always has an element of trauma bond.
Yeah, because if you have unconditional love for someone, there are always going to be times where they're going to piss you off or something's going to happen. There's going to be conflict, like, all the time, basically. But it's how you decide to move through it, and if you decide to forgive that person. Obviously, there are some things that you may not want to forgive, that's fine. But at the end of the day, if you want to have someone in your life for the rest of your life, there has to be unconditional love.
Yes. I agree. I literally wrote in my journal the other day that quote, where there is love, there is pain.
Yes.
It's so true.
So true. God, getting emotional.
Oh.
I've literally felt like I wanted to cry for the last 2 days. But I haven't cried yet.
Yeah, I just feel like it's so hard to like actually develop deep connections and relationships, like to the point where it's unconditional love, that it's whether it's friendship or romantic relationships, if you have unconditional love but you end up like growing apart or whatever, like parting ways, it's like kind of, why would you want to like completely let that go when it's so hard to like have that?
Yeah. All the relationships that I have in my life right now are, I have unconditional love for them. Yeah. And me thinking about them not being in my life anymore or not being able to like communicate with them is literally heartbreaking. I'm like, there's so many things that I would want to tell them or talk to them about. So how do you, like, if it's just like a circumstantial end to the relationship, like how do you stop?
Yeah.
Listen to your body. If it feels right, do it. Don't, like, if there's backlash from anyone else, that's their issue, it's not yours.
Yeah. And
even if it ends badly, that's okay. You're just going to deal with it after. Legit. But for right now, if it feels good, go with it.
Yeah. God.